Hi everyone! Welcome to the review of pictures which I finished in April. I can say that arriving spring was quite visible in almost all my works. I started my month from coloring this peach blossom picture from Meredith Dillman coloring book, and I wanted to color it since the arrival of Coloring Haven magazine. Here I mostly use Prismacolors, but I also added watercolor Faber-Castell art grip pencils, and they helped me to create this pastel undertone both for the background and for the peach flowers. Also I used a lot of white Posca to outline all flowers. I am glad that I selected for the background mix of pale yellow, cream and pale pink colors. Maybe they are not very visible on the screen, but in real life I got quite a soft but the background which really helped all flowers to pop up and in the same time to create atmosphere of the clear spring day. In April I happily returned to Lizzie Mary Cullen's books, and I colored in three of her books. Finally, I managed to add another finished project to the Magical City. I already mentioned that pictures which left in my books are not very inspiring, at least for the moment for me, or I don't know how to finish them. So for this Église from Paris, I selected very unusual color combo. I am still not sure that it was a wise choice, but at least I had a lot of fun combining and colors and using them for this page. I am much more happy with two projects which I finished in Magical Journey, and I am also glad that I was able to learn at least small things about Australia, about this city of Kalgoorlie. It's quite a simple design, but I loved to color this old hotel from Kalgoorlie, and I tried to add volume to the building to divide the forefront from the dome on the background. For the sky I used Neocolor crayons, and also it was quite easy, much easier than doing background with Inktense pencils. The second project I also made from Australian part, and it was a shopping center which is called London Court in Perth. And again I learned interesting things about it. The clock tower is a copy of French tower from Rouen, and all other houses are copies of Old English houses. Again I tried to add volume here and also to indicate the highlights from the lamp and to divide one house from another. For this page I used more traditional brown and pale yellow colors, and in the end I am happy with the result. But my favorite in April was coloring in Bon Voyage. I decided to switch from Derwent Inktense to traditional Prismacolor pencils, and I was really happy with this decision. I already tested these pencils in Tallejo, which has the same paper. I thought that color of Inktense are not very suitable for this Paris picture. I wanted much softer colors, and I was happy that I selected in the end this pale violet, pink, gray and muted green colors. This green reminds me about color of the entrances to the metro stations in Paris, and pink, I think that I selected it because of the song La Vie in Rose. Overall, I think that in the future I will be using more of Prismacolors in this book. It was much easier to color all small details with Prismas, and every time when I color in Lizzie Mary Cullen's book, it's a little bit like solving a puzzle. My next project was also dedicated to Paris. After fire in Notre Dame, I decided that I need to do something and to dedicate some projects to the Notre Dame. So I took my first coloring book by Issa Cho and I did this very quick coloring with watercolors and with a light touch of acrylic paint for the flowers. I deliberately didn't want it to be over bright. I tried to use very diluted watercolors and to make very transparent and soft colors, and I'm quite happy with this picture. Also for this picture I used Derwent graphite pencils for the cathedral. And it's a pity that I don't use these interesting pencils more often. In April I also worked in Flower Yearbook. You know that I plan to finish it as soon as possible, and in April I added two finished pictures to it. I had two unfinished pictures with months names, and now April is ready. Everything here is colored with polychromases. It was much easier to color with harder pencils, and I prefer greens from polychromos. They are more natural looking than green in Prismacolors. Also, I thought about drawing something in the middle part, but then I decided that it's already very detailed. I am happy that I didn't lost two cute birds here and this cute bunny. And I also added some additional flowers in the bottom part of the picture. Also, I finished this very quick work. Everything here I colored with watercolors because I already colored primulas, crocuses and muscari in this book using Prismacolor pencils, and I thought that this time it will be more interesting to color with watercolors. I love how watercolor pigment spread on this paper. I never have any problems with bleeding through. I mostly used here one basic green. I added a little bit of yellow and a little bit of blue to get a different hues of green, but overall it was average but quite nice work. I'm totally happy how my next picture looks. Maria Trolle isn't the easiest artist for me to color, but so far I managed to color four or five of her girls in this book, and this one is definitely my favorite. Again, it's a very spring picture. I always loved this nest with eggs. I decided to add magical background, and most of all I am happy that I managed to stay in a quite limited amount of colors, and that colors looks quite well balanced, like I used violet for the background and violet in her dress, also orange for the violet and for her dress, but my favorite part I think is her hair. Quite unusual for me to use such unnatural colors. But in the end, I love that everything is shining. She looks like a spring fairy and quite magical also. Also, I added small white flowers to the background, and I think that they helped to refresh this picture a little bit. So I'm totally and completely happy here. For this page, I even used Prismacolors for the whole background. Not very often thing for me. I prefer to do Neocolor or watercolor background because it's easier and quicker way. But I love how Prismacolors lay down on this paper, how they mix, and I was able to do a quite satisfied work with only Prismas. But in April, most of all, I wanted to color in Hanna Karlzon's book. I got the inspiration for a lot of pictures, mostly in Magical Dawn. I started some pictures, and some pictures I have finished. You can see that slowly my Magical Dawn is filled with my finished pictures. I will show you 4 finished projects here. For the left page, I used black acrylic for the simple background because I wanted to do this page in a Russian national style of traditional art of kokloma. While I posted a video about this coloring, I also posted some pictures about traditional Russian tableware, and they use this classical color combo of black, golden and red, and it always looks nice. Also, I love here the difference in textures because I used matte acrylic, and after I colored the rest of the page with Prismacolors, which has this shiny wax cover, I love that difference. And for the right page, I did my quite complicated mixed media background. It's not very visible on screen, but everything here is shining with a lot of colors mixed together. Dark blue, indigo, lilac, pink, silver. And the central part is matte because I used Neocolor crayons, and again I love this difference in textures. The only thing that it's quite difficult to catch it on video, and you need to get the light in different angles to see everything which I added to this background. But it's interesting when I flip through this book, I can enjoy all textures and all mediums which I added here. Also, I did another background in the same technique for this magical forest picture. Here I got inspiration from this label that it's a forest, so I selected golden, green and a little bit of violet as the main colors. I love that this picture is really magical, just like Magical Dawn in the spirit of the book. Again, it's a lot of mixed colors for the background, and I'm happy that the main parts are these 2 bottles like shining from inside. So again, I'm quite happy with the result here. I know that I use these watercolor backgrounds for the majority of my finished pictures, and maybe because of this they look a little bit similar, but I enjoy this technique. I enjoy to play with my watercolors with different mediums to mix them. And I love that the result is quite often unpredictable. when you play with your paints. And for the fourth finished project, I used mostly watercolors. I did watercolor underground, and then I only corrected some details with my regular pencils. I'm still not sure whether it's a dog rose or it's a poppy, but I'm happy with the color combo. I love this dreamy mix of dark blue and green for the background and bright orange red for the flower. Also, I used a lot of white Posca to add this magical look to the flower, and probably it's one of my favorite finished pictures also. But I really love all finished and unfinished pictures in Magical Dawn. It's my favorite book so far, apart from the latest one. And I also started a couple of other pictures, but as I hadn't created video for them so far, I will be showing them in my video. Another spring picture I did in Menard de Bonheur. Again, everything was done with Prismacolors, and I really love to use Prismacolors even for the background here, due to the quality of the paper, how they mix together really well. I think that here I'm happy with everything. How spring flowers look, how I was able to attract attention to the main characters like birds and squirrel, how background is balanced between the dark bottom part and more transparent and easy upper part of the page, so I enjoyed the process and I'm quite satisfied with the result. Also, it was quite easy to select colors. I tend to color in quite realistic way in this book, so it also wasn't a problematic coloring. Maybe in May I will challenge myself with coloring with watercolors in Kanoko Yuguza books, but so far I am really happy with working with Prismacolors. Before I got these books as a present, I could never imagine how I will enjoy coloring in them, both due to the quality of the paper and quality of designs, of course. And my last finished picture was an Easter coloring from Emily Lindehol Oberg book. I did this acrylic background in the beginning of April, and I was shocked that I did so bright green background. I was a little bit disappointed with myself, so I put it away, but as I don't have a lot of Easter pages available for me, I needed to color something for Easter, so I decided to get back to this picture, and in the end I am really happy with final result. I managed to color all flowers and bunny itself in the way that they hadn't been lost on such a bright background, and also thanks to these circles on the background which I added with new colors, this picture looks quite festive. Also, I added a lot of white postcard to the flowers, and it also helped for the flowers and for the bunny to pop up on the bright background. Maybe not my best way of drawing the Easter egg, but anyway, I am glad that I finished it. In April I was a little bit lazy and it was difficult for me to create videos. I wanted to color but maybe not to create videos, but anyway I am satisfied with final result and with all finished pictures. I hope that during May you will enjoy wonderful spring weather, but still from time to time will be coloring together with me.